circle's mind that's running round and round and round and round. Butterflies and seagrass and the moonbeams and fairy tales. It's all she ever thinks about him. She's riding with the wind. Lord, when I'm sad, she comes to me with 1,000 smiles he gives to me free. It's alright, it's alright, it's alright, she says. Take anything you want from me. So fly on little way. That's all she ever thinks about. Just riding with the wind. Dank fürs Kommen. Thomas Blug.
Welcome to Academy of Tone 285. Keep Guitar Alive. Well, this was a clip from last Wednesday. Was it Wednesday? Thursday, sorry, Thursday. With Hartmann and of course Oliver Hartmann on vocals and guitar. In Bonn, Harmonie was the club that we played. Big fun, a few wrong notes, which are life is life. It's important because I believe that guitar needs to be special and it needs to be a special experience when you go to a club concert. And for me, that concert and some of the gigs the week before were triggering a lot in me because I found something is in danger with us guitar players and with the genre of guitar music. And I made the experience that I got so many compliments on the guitar that I played because people could really feel what I was doing, versus maybe it didn't get through to the audience. And in the end, it's all about, we are musicians, we go on stage to perform, to make the audience excited and happy so that they are coming back for the next gig. And there's a few things that I will touch in this episode here, but maybe I have to go back for last week's episode because just by accident I have done what is it called, a hit in the internet. Something is starting to go viral. It's like I invented a lot, or maybe not a lot, but I invented one thing. Watch that clip because it's so funny. I didn't invent much, but I invented one thing. I have not seen other people doing it. Now I show you something that I think I really invented. It's so stupid simple. Watch this.
That's an invention for sure.
How to break a string. Yeah, see, this is things you cannot plan. These are things that simply happen when they happen. I wanted to show something completely different, but while doing it, I broke the string. And that is funny. 400,000 views by 2 days when the snippet is out. This is kind of nice, yeah. But let's go back for the topic of today, Keep Guitar Alive. I had big arguments on the last 2 gigs. When I was going on stage, I had my Fat Cap 1x12 cabinet. I have my Amp X. Before I had my Amp 1, but I always play at the same stage volume. And I know that I'm not the quietest guitar player, but I know what kind of volume I need to keep up with the drums, to be in balance with the drums, so I have something like a dynamic that I can use. And the first thing that I heard from the sound guys like 2 weeks ago was, "You're too loud." And this was, if I would have followed the sound guy, we are living in the era of the sound guy, where these guys tell you what to do. We come to a point where I believe I cannot even do my thing anymore. And therefore, I insisted, this is my volume. If the cabinet is too loud for you facing towards the audience, I can kind of turn it sideways so you're not getting it in your face. It's all on stage, you have the PA. But the guy said, "I'm not putting you on the PA either." And I said, "Hey guy, I'm doing this for a few decades. I know what works and what doesn't." So I was jumping from the stage into in front of the stage where the audience is standing at soundcheck when there was no audience. And I told the guy, bring it up, bring it up, bring it up. And then I had a nice mixture of the drums and the guitar. And I don't want to cheat, because if I cheat, that's easy. I can go and put my amp on 3 and say, yeah, that's all. And he says, oh, that's great. And then when the concert starts, I go up and do 5 or even 6. And then my level is way too high. And that's something, it might overdrive the mic preamp or whatever he is using. And that's not fair. What I want is that he gets the right level from the beginning. And I know that I'm responsible for everything I do, that I have a dynamic. I mean, I'm not playing full on all the time at the show, but I give him the full level at the beginning so he know what maximum he can expect. So he can gain the guitar to have that kind of headroom. And maybe he made a lot of bad experience with guitar players that are always too loud, that always sound shit or whatever. But we have to make sure that the audience gets what they deserve, some exciting guitar. Otherwise, we will lose our audience. And that's something I believe it's so important. Because I noticed these kind of complaints more and more. It's like, you know, when the sound guy is half your age, he has never experienced how a guitar sounded in the 80s or a band sounded in whatever, 70s, and that kind of guitar music is being played in those clubs. I'm not trying to make an argument all against the sound guys, but we have to collaborate with the sound guys in a way that we get the guitar across to the audience at the right level. And what we have seen in the intro song is, by the way, the PA mix, and Oliver Hartmann did a little bit of, you know, compressing. So this is how it probably sounded at the PA. I do have a little mobile phone clip that was taken in front of the stage. And here you can see what I consider to be a big problem these days. My guitar was a great guitar, and Ollie was not present at the place where the mobile phone was. Check out that little clip. Well, maybe you could hear the difference between my guitar sound and Oliver's guitar sound, and you can tell by the intro mix that his sound was great. But here it was way too low at this particular place. And that's something that I have noticed many times. I can see so many videos, you know, on Instagram, on, you know, YouTube, with that maybe silent stage, or when when everybody's complaining about the guitar is too loud, this is what you get, the level of Ollie's guitar in the room, which is not helping the audience. Because after the show, I got so many compliments on, man, it was so great to hear your guitar. And actually, even the promoter told me, oh, he was, they are all crying and moaning about the volume. And guys, all I'm saying is a pro knows how to handle the volume. If you're an amateur, you have to be careful, because you can also destroy this kind of trusty relationship to a promoter, to an audience, to a band. So just turning up the guitar is not the only solution. It is having the guitar at the right place. If you play a solo, your solo should be heard. It should be the same level as the vocals, because you're taking over from the vocals. You tell the story, you tell the second chapter, and then comes the next verse. And that's something that only works if you are at the same level. If you have something like how I do it, I dial back the guitar sound. I have my I use the volume on my guitar to make it, at the right volume, at the right intensity. But I also have other channels on my amp, other sounds that are more dense, that are more screaming, depending on what I play, and that are probably sometimes a little bit louder. So here, that's the vintage channel, that's the classic channel. So the moment when I hear vocals, I have to reduce my volume. I have to reduce whatever gain in that context. If you make different music, it's a different story. But still, it's not about the guitar being at 100% all the time. That's boring. That's boring for the band and the audience, unless you would be the whatever, a punk band, where this is part of your musical expression. But if I have that volume, I can express myself and I can make myself being heard, and it really gets across and it will touch the audience. This is the results that I got from the audience. And I feel always so bad when I watch these videos where they're playing their asses off and it's all good, but it doesn't come across because the mixer was told, like, don't make it too loud. And the drums are all the way up there and the guitar is there. And the guitar sounds like a old farty fiddle, but has nothing to do with the real strong, meaty guitar tone. And that's, I think, a problem we have to be aware of, and we have to talk to our sound guys, because it's their responsibility that whatever they are mixing makes the audience happy. And we all know volume is an issue these days. The older people get, the more they complain about, unless they are deaf and can leave their hearing aid at home. But I know everybody tells you it's, but if we go back to the real experience of the electric guitar excitement that we could hear, there is a magic. And I'm talking about Jimi Hendrix, where the guitar was like twice as loud as the drums. These days, the bass drum takes 80% of the energy and the rest of it is something there. Okay, we don't need to be at the same sound level like in the 60s. We can modernize certain things. But there is the point where the whole thing gets out of balance and it starts to come to a point where it does not work anymore. And that's the thing that I want to make you guys aware of. There's little helpers that you can have, like, you could have an EQ pedal, you can dial in some extra mids, if your band is already pretty packed with other frequencies because you have, a second guitar player, and this will make you being heard on top of all the rest. For instance, you could have a simple volume boost, one for solo, one for rhythm, like a minus boost in the amp one, or like the one control. You can work with different presets and stuff like that. But for me, if everything is flat all the time, it's boring. And it's fatigue. It's also fatigue for the ears. It's fatigue for the listener. And what we need is excitement. People go to concerts to be excited. They are waiting for hey, what's going on? They are really excited to hear something even more exciting than what they bring to the concert. And, they're ready to be lit up by whatever you do. And then you can go to 11. And that's the moment when they are so happy that they will come back for the next show, and it will be more people. And that's the thing. I think it's so important. And these days we are living in the age of the sound guy. So back in the 60s and 70s and 80s, not so much 80s, but in the 60s, there were loud amp on stage, and the PA was not even there in the 60s. It was, Deep Purple made in Japan. They had Marshall stacks as a PA. This was basically their PA. And so the guitars were maybe dominant in a way, maybe too dominant from a modern perspective. But if we change the balance to the complete opposite, we're losing the magic that we know from the guitar. And another example, it's a cultural thing as well. Remember the cars from the 60s, from the 50s, 70s? Those cars, they had an identity. Jaguar E-Type, looking like a sports car, or Ford Mustang, or you name it, a Mercedes, or, these were characters, real characters. And today, I think a Mercedes A-Class or whatever it's called, or C-Class, or a Toyota, or a Mitsubishi, you name it. The difference is more the logo than the car aesthetics. So the whole thing is losing character. The whole thing is losing definition. It's losing detail. And the death of the detail is killing what is the thing that we are doing. We are playing the electric guitar, and there is a magic about the experience of an electric guitar sound. Remember, an orchestra is a bunch of guys that go into a specially designed concert hall where you can have whatever, your double bass and your tons of violins and all these percussions and whatnot with the conductor. And that is a sound. And a rock band is a sound, and a blues band is a sound. And if you have a streamlined sound for everybody, that sounds like background music would be, I mean, if the rock band, for instance, there's nothing wrong about background music if you are there to be the background musician. That's as old as music. I mean, even in the Middle Ages or whenever in classical music there's background music, you know, that's a different thing. And that requires a different volume level. But when you do a proper concert, you have to have the impact. Yeah, and I see in the comments here beautiful colors too. Back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, we had colors. I mean, I have to admit, my car is black, and most other cars here are black, gray, or white. And where are the colors? Gone. Where are the different shapes? Gone. I think we come to the death of detail. We come to too much streamlining for convenience. You know, we have to be so pleasant that we don't hurt anybody. That's the mental problem. You know, if we decide that we act like nothing hurts anymore, then we cannot have real emotion, because sometimes that when it hurts, it is that emotion that touches you. Even in classical music, I have listened to orchestras and was driven to tears just because of how much impact that sound made, you know? And therefore, we need that headroom. You know, I mean, you can go with your... I mean, just imitating a little bit of classical dynamic. You can find this in any kind of music, but we should never lose that stuff that makes the music special, that makes the music emotional. And just by having, you know, everything in our modelers or on our pedal boards, we come to the point where everything is like perfect but boring. So this is my creed. Watch that we don't lose the core of the electric guitar. That's for us, the guitar players. Because if we don't live that core, we will disappear. People that are not excited by the electric guitar will not come back to watch an electric guitar concert or acoustic guitar concert or whatever. And volume is relative. Here's a little clip that I have done with Gully after my blues gig 2 weeks ago when we had that double gig and I had to play that private party. That was me, my Amp X and my Fat Cap at a private party, and I was playing at a volume where we had even people talking to each other. And it's possible. Unfortunately, I don't have the clip where I played Parisian Walkways with a... But in exactly this concert or living room performance, I was playing that and I could get my... with that strat, with a sustain of a minute. It is possible at feasible volume. Anyway, let's watch that clip so you get an impression.
And the all-time winner got him by the bar. He's crawling down the corridor on his hands and knees. The darkest of all the train
Yeah, anyway, this was just the example that I can play at the volume where, you know, people have a party in their living room with the same amp and still can do my thing. It is not a problem. And we will have a few interviews coming up in a minute about solutions for all of that. But for me, it was important to make you aware what's at stake for us guitar players. And maybe also in general, it is, for me, I came to the point where I thought, you know, if we are compromising too much, we get obsolete in a way. We have to make our statements. Why? Because it's great. Remember people like Pete Townshend doing the windmill? You can't do that if you are not full on emotionally, and you don't do that, sorry, on a 5-watt world. I mean, this guy Keith Williams makes brilliant videos, but you know, Pete Townshend wasn't into 5 watts back then. These chords, they felt something. You know, We Won't Get Fooled Again was a meaning. This was there not just because it was the birthday party cake music. It is what it, you know, there was a message. And there's more than just the chord, the power chord or whatever he was playing. There was a message behind it. And he made sure that he used his high watts on 11 to get that. And drummers like Keith Moon, do we still have this kind of characters in music? Maybe not so much. I miss that. I miss that so much. Because even like Keith Moon as a drummer, listen to Quadrophenia. It is like an orchestra piece. And such a wild drummer can make such a great performance on even very elaborate music. Fantastic mixture. And it's not like, oh, everything is nice and tight and not too loud and not overplayed. No, he overplayed. He overplayed because he was fucking Keith Moon. And yeah, on the other hand, we have to work with everybody to make them aware of where we are. And we have to work with the sound guys, because if they fuck it up, we can do whatever we do, and we have lost. So there needs to be a way to make them understand about their responsibility, and we have to help them, and they have to help us. So this is about mutual respect and not going, I'm the sound guy and, you know, I make the Tischhupen concert for you or whatever it is, and I know what time it is. No, it is a very responsible job, and if we don't deliver and the master fader is at the sound guy, we are in big trouble. And if we don't deliver a good signal to the sound guys, we are also in big trouble. I mean, if this guy is a genius, he can still try to make something out of something, but it's not how it should be. I have found 2 little clips here that also show you the problem that I'm talking about. One is about Nelly. She is sometimes using an Amp 1, and I think she wasn't at this particular concert. This is what you get. Yeah, okay, that's an example for the typical mix that I can hear these days, lots of drums because there are drums. And then there are the vocals, sure, they need to be heard. And then in this angry music, that angry guitar is like a little tiny penguin on the horizon. Okay, here is another example of a similar situation in life with Erich Steckel. Check it out. Yeah, okay, here the guitar was even louder than the drums. And I know what he's playing his Mesa Baba and his 4x12. And people come to listen to him playing, which is totally understandable. But going back to Neely, the thing is that was not okay because the guitar was not loud enough for that kind of music. And I can see in the comments here, in most cases, the sound guy is paid by the promoter, and there is where the problem starts. Yeah, if the promoter is afraid of the complaints of the audience, everything is too loud, which we hear. It starts with everybody. Everybody here is included in that. When you have a bad sound, and if the sound is too loud, you make a bad experience, and then you don't want to come again. I understand promoters, but our responsibility is to give them a good sound at a volume that makes you feel good. And if you deliver a good sound, nobody, this is my experience, nobody complains about fucking volume anymore. So volume is relative to quality. If quality is good, volume is not an issue. Okay, black and white, but this is the thing. We need to have the awareness of these factors, and by generalizing it, volume is a problem always, we kill what we have to give. And if it's good what we have to give, we reduce the volume, we reduce the message. No good. So therefore, I'm preaching for more excitement. I want to have less streamlined performances. I want to have more excitement, and here and there, not all the time, even a little bit more individuality, more maybe even provocation, like back in the days. Nobody has died, but what we need is to get out of that everlasting only compromise mode. Okay, and if we don't take risk, no fun. We have no fun. That's why I like to improvise. That's my personal joy. Okay, but of course there's also very nice music that is completely arranged, and that's also totally fine. I love that as well, but I'm just referring to what I enjoy, and this is what I do, because then I can shine, because I feel great, and when I feel great, I can enjoy other people as well. And my general secret weapon is headroom. When you have headroom, you have a room that starts here and it might go up to there. I'm not using that all the time. When I'm going whatever with my car or something, I can vary the speed. I have headroom and I can enjoy that. And we can slow down everything to boring 30, and never get there. Okay. Anyway, so out of this personal experience that I made, by the way, if you have some experience that you want to share with us, put them in the comments below, then I can maybe talk about that a little bit more. I will give you a few interviews how my colleagues are, dealing with the music, or especially how they are dealing with the sound. But the first interview I want to show you is the interview I have done with Oliver Hartmann. And we talked a bit more about a general thing with the club scene and how to make things work for everybody so that you have an audience, that you have a good sound, that you get there. Enjoy my little interview with Oliver Hartmann. There's more to come, but check this out first. Ladies and gentlemen, our special guest is Oliver Hartmann of Hartmann, and we had a big pleasure to play a gig together in Bonn Harmonie. It was great. It was great to share the stage, at least for the big encore. Everybody enjoyed that, a little wing. And for me, the question is, what can we do these days to keep the guitar alive in the clubs for the audience? How can we deliver the best for, our fans? And when it comes to sound and presentation, what are your setups, tricks, and experiences?
It's not so easy to find just one answer. But let's maybe start with what you started as a question. What can we do as musicians, as guitar players, to play a tour or to play single shows, to drag people into the clubs, and to somehow provide them something special?
Yeah.
We've been talking about that topic a few times before. I think it's more difficult than ever before.
Yeah.
Just simply due to the mass of bands, artists, and also, let's say, raising life costs and everything, where people really have to count to make it work, to go to a concert, because there's so many offers to go to concerts and they just have one wallet. That's all. And to put the spot on you as an artist, there are many possibilities. You can on one hand, of course, be very active on social media, what you have to do nowadays.
Yeah.
But of course, you have to find the right balance. In my opinion is, and my experience is, that it can easily happen that you overdo, because it's like a time killer. Social media, when you have to do stories, reels, everything else, posts every day. Some do it a few times a day. I know many, let's say, influencers and other people, musicians, who really take 1 or 2 days, the whole week, 2 full days, to just take care about the posts for them for the next 1 or 2 weeks. It's a job.
Yeah.
It's got nothing to do with I type something in and, hi people, how are you? It's something different. It's really for a professional musician who wants to be on social media. You have to count it as work with lots of time. The other thing is, what you can do is to do something and to be someone unique, so that people really have the feeling, not just the feeling, that people really see, they go into a club, to a concert, and they see something that is real, that is authentic, that
And
is
that's special.
special and hopefully on a high level.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that people buy a ticket for a concert because they want to see an artist, either a single artist or a band, or as we did it as with you as a special guest on this concert in Bonn, and to give the people the feeling that it has a value what they paid for, and that it was worth to visit this concert. And that's luckily the response that I had during the whole tour, when people come over to a merchandise that we also do on our own,
Yeah.
where people want to talk to you, and they share the positive emotion with you that they gained during the concert. And I think that's the only thing that you can do to really go on stage, to be authentic, to be unique, and to give the people what they want. They normally want to go there to listen to good music and to get something of that special vibe of a live concert. That's maybe all you can do. And when it comes to promotion, of course, there are many possibilities besides social media to put the spot on you.
Sure.
Either with magazine advertisements, corporations, with companies. There are many things that you can do, but then you come to a point where you have to see that your day has just 24 hours.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you know that exactly what I'm saying. When you have a company, I have a record label, I do my promotion on Facebook, I do the advertisements for that. I'm the graphic designer for everything, besides some very special stuff where I contact the real graphic designer, who say like, I take off my hands of this, please do it, because it's your job. It's not my profession. Yeah. And that's maybe something that, all in all, that's what you can do to give the people the feeling that they visit a concert and get something real back.
Yeah. When I was seeing your show and when I was seeing, the whole presentation, it was super professional. I mean, there was the merch, there was the announcements. I could see that many people were wearing Hartmann t-shirts. And you actually do have female audience as well, which is
luckily
great. Yeah. At least something to look at for us men from stage, which is nice. Yeah, and then what I feel is like we have a responsibility that when you go on stage, when you do your show, that you give something special that actually is well received with the audience, that excites them and triggers them to tell them, the fans, I want to see the whole thing again, or I want to come to the next show, because that's the only chance you have.
They maybe mark something in the calendar.
Yeah.
When they ask you, will you be here again or somewhere in this region?
Yeah.
We want to see it again live, and yeah.
So when it comes to the sound, you had your tiny, nice little pedalboard with the M1 Mercury, with a, your some of the effects.
Yeah, I had what was a single chain. It started with a Dunlop Mini Crybaby.
Yeah.
Then I went to a buffer.
Yeah.
From there it goes to a Phase 90, then to a mini chorus of Ibanez, then it goes to let me think, where does it go to? It goes to a special booster distortion from Ref.
Yeah.
Very good one. I forgot the name, but it's a really cool booster and distortion pedal all in one, for very, very subtle boost. And then I have a halo delay that is programmable, where I have different settings for a few signs. But in the end, that's all, because I'm also singing, I'm playing guitar, so it wouldn't be possible for me to do a step dance on a board while singing. It also I know where I have to press, or where I have to put my foot to have the solo sound, the rhythm sound, and maybe then a clean or a crunchy vintage sound.
And which overdrive channels is the ones that you are using on the M1? Classic, or is it?
I'm normally I'm changing between the vintage mode and the classic mode. But the main mode is the classic mode
Okay.
with medium gain. And then I have your, let's say, your modification of my Mercury that is using a different boost.
Yeah.
That is more narrow band, to just boost the mids. And this is turned up to 10. And this is what I use for solos. And then when I need like let's say an afterburner, then I'm using this rev pedal to get some kind of, let's say, extra kick,
Yeah.
extra gain, extra sustain. But in the end, that's all. It's two main sounds, and the delay is programmed this way that it's only on the solo channel and only on the vintage channel. So I can turn it off for some, let's say, crunchy plexi sounds. I just turn off the delay, and for all else it's turned on. So I have my main rhythm channel that's pure,
Yeah.
and then I switch over to the solo that is got some delay. That's all.
So you are using in-ears, and
Yeah.
the question that I have is, are you doing the in-ear monitor mix yourself, or is this your...
Yes.
So,
We, how to say, when it all started with the in-ear, it was a great thing, but when you had to rely on the mixer, mainly not a monitor mixer, not a monitor guy. So most of the time, the people from the front of house were doing the monitor sound, and then you have to rely on what they
sent you.
turn on and off, what kind of frequencies they turn, and nowadays I love to have, let's see, full control over my inner sound. So we have a side rack with our own monitor rack with a mixer in it that we can control either directly on the knobs, or with the iPad, where you have your perfect sound. So the front of house guy, whoever it is, he can do whatever he wants to, and it doesn't change my sound, because you know that every mixer has got, let's say, different tastes, different opinion about things. And the first thing that I always see is when people do it, the monitor sound front of house, they always start to turn down your high mids and your mids around like 700 to give this kind of, that's a hi-fi sound, to make it somehow work for them. You said, like, no, please leave it in. Maybe just put away a little bit of bass with a low cut, depending on the PA, and but nothing more. You get a full frequency spectrum with a finished final signal that is perfectly working.
And just make it as loud as it needs to be in the mix.
Just turn it on.
Yeah, and don't change the sound too much, because then
Not too much.
it's changing the character, and then it's changing what you are aiming to play, because you have an idea of what you want to present to your audience. I mean, you have a voice as a singer and you have a voice as a guitar player, and you work a lot on those details, and so the mixer shouldn't destroy that. And that's something I found very important, that these days we are living in the era of the sound guy, relying so much on the sound guy. I mean, in the old days, Deep Purple was having Marshall stacks on stage, and the sound guy wasn't even there, or not much. And now it's vice versa. So the sound guy has 100% control of what's going on, and the band on stage is always softer and softer and softer. So the whole responsibility shifts from the band. I mean, there's still the responsibility to give a very good signal, but we can do this these days. We know how to process a great sound from stage, and going direct and offer whatever direct sounds to the PA guy that are spot on.
And it doesn't matter if you have have a speaker simulator that I use. I either use a Captor X, or a universal audio aux. Both of them are absolutely great. You get a perfect signal down there. And what I see is, also, let's say, depending on the size of the venue, that when you play without a cabinet, you still have the drummer, and he's the one who gives the main level, where a mixer has to go on the same level with all instruments.
Yeah.
And that is what's sometimes difficult when I listen to mixes, just like front of house mixes or from a camera, because I only have like a small, it's a control monitor for myself, right in front of the microphone. It's from Headrush,
Yeah.
like a 2.8 speaker, small, just to have the signal and also for feedbacks, to have a little bit of more sustain, yeah, and to control myself a bit. But that's nothing that comes that at the front of house for the sound guy. So he really has to turn up the volume of your guitar to the same kind of level as the drums and all other signals. And I often had it that mixers don't care very much about that, even when you are in a, let's say, a guitar-oriented band.
Yeah.
And that's something that you always have to say to the mixer, although you know that you will definitely get on their nerves, but you have to do it. You have to do it because it's your music, it's your sound, and there should be a communication between the front of house person, no matter if you don't know him or if he's like organized just for a tour for your band. You have to communicate to let people know how you think the sound should be. So I
Yeah.
always say, like, please listen to the new album. Look where there are choirs, where there are reverbs, delays, and how the whole thing works together. And try to adapt this to as much as possible to the
Yeah.
live mix. Of course, I don't want like a 100% polished live mix, but it should be something that is normal for an front of house engineer nowadays to really see what kind of band you have there and to take care to give it the same kind of attention that you maybe brought to a production or whatever. Yeah. The way it should be, but it
Yeah.
isn't like that.
Yeah, I know.
Never.
I know. Yeah, but
Sometimes it's better, sometimes it's worse.
yeah, but I know how much control and effort you put into this process, and to assure that the quality is really there for the audience. You know,
Somebody can destroy it in 2 seconds.
exactly. And this responsibility is so high. And what I'm after is I want to make people aware that we all are responsible. The musician is responsible, the sound guy is responsible, the promoter is responsible. You told me the story that you did so much promotion that some of the promoters thought, okay, we don't need to do anything. And that's bullshit.
It's a quite understandable and natural reaction, but in the end, when you work together, nowadays you know that you have to do something as a band.
Yeah.
But it's still the promoter who has booked you for a show, so it's his job to do the promotion.
Yeah.
It's nothing. Maybe it was back in the day was like this. And sometimes nowadays it's not like this. For good promoters, yes, and
Yeah.
with good promoters it works like this in a balance. But I often see that when you do a lot of promotion because you want to take care that your tour is going well, that people attend your concerts, then it starts to get like this.
Yeah.
Because promoters then lean back because they think the artist is doing his all on his own. Let's see what is going to happen. Yeah.
And that's wrong. That's wrong.
Of course it's wrong. Yeah, because I don't want to hear nobody moan about too less attendance for concerts or whatever when they don't see posters or advertisements or either or.
Yeah. So for me, it is the responsibility when I go on stage. There's no second chance for a first impression, which means I better play a good concert because that's the night. Tomorrow we are gone. We are split, and this was the only chance. And therefore,
nobody takes care in the audience what was happening before.
Yeah.
If there was good promotion or if something went wrong, nobody cares. It's just the lights on at maybe like 8 p.m. Everybody's on stage, and then you have like 1.5 or 2 hours to make it count. That's all.
Yeah.
Nobody cares what was happening before or what did go wrong.
and whatever was not cool in this show time is will never come back, and therefore I hate it when like this. Okay, this is, I'm a little bit beating the sound guys maybe in this interview here, but it's like
There are good ones too.
There are good ones.
You mentioned that,
and in every position. I'm not saying in general there is one position that always sucks. No, it's just
it starts with the cable and it ends somewhere else.
Yeah, it ends with the ears of the audience, and it goes down to the venue, to the vibe, to the posters, to the cleaning of the toilets and the bar.
Yeah.
It's a whole the whole complete picture experience that makes people go to clubs, to concerts again.
Absolutely.
Or if they stay home and rather watch TV. And this is...
That's something that I can always see during the last, let's say, 20 to 30 years when you look at clubs that are always crowded, that have a good what is the word for it in English? That have a good vibe.
Yeah.
That are known for good quality and for being a good club. When you go there and you look at the details, there's everything right.
Yeah.
Everything is right, up to the toilet, as you say. And then maybe in some other clubs, you're wondering why nobody's coming there. Although they maybe, even if they have great bands, then you look at some special things that is starting with the posters or with the toilets or with a technical situation that you don't have a good vibe in there. You know?
Yeah.
That's also why we discussed it during the last stream, why I put so much efforts in this tour to play in the right clubs, to play in the right venues where I know people will come, they will see your poster, and they will maybe come to a concert because they are, let's say, rock music lovers.
Yeah. And this needs to be affirmed when they come. They have to be positive, surprised, and they have to simply be happy, and then they come again. And
absolutely.
And this is the responsibility of everybody, on stage, off stage, from the whole process, from beginning to end. Hey, I think that sums it up in a way. I really enjoyed that live performance. We never know.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I mean, we shared the stage or small stages many times on music fairs and other other events, or with your live stream. But we have never been really on stage together and really played something together with the band.
Yeah.
No, except the Guitar Summit in 2019. Yeah.
Yeah, but this was cool. This was cool too. With
Yeah,
Paul
it was
Gilbert.
big fun. It was a good vibe, and
yeah,
I'm really curious about the final video now of Little Wing, because there was lots of good vibe in this song, just in this song. A very, very nice, let's say, finish of the evening. And when I look at it now, of course, we all do mistakes as guitar players, as singers, as musicians.
Yeah.
But it's how to say, for me, it's cool to tell the people, hey, look at it. There are some small mistakes here and there where we fucked it up. But that's natural. That's music. Yeah,
it's authentic, and that's us. Yeah.
It's not AI. It's us. It's real.
Yeah. So let's stay real. And thanks, Ollie, for joining in. And I hope we can do something in the future. You never know.
Of course. Yeah. Have a good time. Yeah.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. So this was Oliver Hartmann's experience on touring in venues these days. I have a little look at the chat here, and some things are funny, just to bring them up. If your front of house technician plays guitar too, you are lucky. Well, yeah, because then they know how a guitar should sound like. It shouldn't be a competition between instruments. It should be balanced. here, Haki Bridge, the last one. First, you need a good sound on stage. I totally agree with that. And the only way to get the max out of musicians to play together. I'm the old school guy. I want to listen to my fellow musicians with my ears, not in ears. I have another interview coming up with people that play more in ears. Oliver Hartmann, by the way, plays in ears as well. Okay, what else is in the chat here? Seitenschuft says he had a cover band and the keyboard player was mixing. Not most of the time, not too bad, but he wants the instruments only be heard in the monitors. Blah blah blah. Yeah, and now he plays in a different band with his amp one and the NanoCap 100, NanoCap Neo Pro, that is, which is small, compact, and loud. Okay, there's one technical comment that I can see here from Dyson Sphere. Fractal will make next generation product NAMM compatible. Okay, I have to translate for those guys who have no clue about what's going on. NAMM is a freeware that is doing the modeling, the capturing or the profiling. So if you want to have that I capture a sound experience like a camper, there's freeware for your computer, and that's called NAMM. And by now, of course, as it is free and you can capture sounds, people are looking for hardware to use those sounds. And there are some cheap Chinese products that can actually do that, play those sounds, are compatible with the format NAMM. And Fractal, the digital high-end company, is working on something that they can also use these sounds on their platform. Yeah, evolution of technology is also going on in the background. But that's a different episode. I just wanted to comment that so you know that I also have an eye on technology. But this episode is more about the musician side. It's more about what we as a musician should look after. My next interview is with Georg Meyer, who plays with Gildo Horn. Gildo Horn is a very famous and big act when it comes to entertaining people. And I played with Gildo Horn when he was a special guest with the Rottgau Monotones, and so I played the set with him. And Georg is his real guitar player in his band. And they are actually just going on tour for the Christmas. They have a special Christmas set or show, and they are very famous, making people happy. And yeah, check out the interview that I have done with Georg Meyer on his experience, how he works in the different situations that he is actually in, being a professional guitar player, from functional bands to big acts like Gildo Horn and Egli. Check it out. Georg Meyer, back on the show. We have seen you last year at the Christmas episode, and you just returned from a rehearsal with Gildo Horn, who is kind of the German Christmas master.
Yeah, so to say.
Yeah, so they're actually playing big halls, town halls, and festivals. With Gildo Horn. But you also play with Egli for the...
As a substitute, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm subbing, yeah.
And different kind of functional bands.
Yeah.
So when you find yourself in all those different situations, you are using different kind of gear, equipment. Sometimes, well, maybe you can explain what works and what doesn't.
Depending on the gig, With Gildo Horn, for instance, we have in-ear system,
Yeah.
which is yes, that's the best thing for this show because it's always the same people,
Right.
always the same technicians,
Yeah.
always the same levels on stage,
Yeah.
output levels on stage, and yeah, of course, we have always the same sound, which makes it much easier, especially when you have like a fixed, steady show.
Yeah.
You are very sensitive about everything when you always have the same people with you on stage, same musicians.
So you can rely on the good in-ear sound that is provided by, the monitor guy, and I mean this is a high-level professional show.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a big production, or
Yeah.
quite big production.
Yeah. So that works as the team is fixed and there is no, surprises.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah. In this situation, it's the best thing ever.
Yeah. So very nice. What is the in-ear systems you are using? Do you know the brand?
Yeah, it's a rental. Yeah, but it's pretty much always the same. It's a Shure. What is it? ISPM or something.
Mm-hmm.
That one that every production is using.
Yeah.
Me personally, I have a Shure. No, I have a what is that? PSM from
Yeah.
Sennheiser,
Yeah.
which is also great.
Yeah.
But more important for me is not the in-ear system itself. It's the ears.
The
in-ears,
phones
the actual
that you put in your
headphones.
ears.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one situation.
Yeah.
When you go and play with like the functional bands, it is different situation. What is your experience there?
Well, first of all, I rather don't use any in-ear system, especially with functional bands or session bands or whatever, because as you know, it's always about keeping your ears open and your eyes.
Get some information. Who else is playing
Exactly.
what?
Because, exactly.
The mid-8 is already in there.
Exactly. Also, after the first chorus, nobody knows where we're at anyways. So you have to, communicate somehow. But
Yeah.
some bands do have in-ears, and
Yeah.
if they do,
Yeah.
nowadays they also all use these, what is it called, M32 app, which is just from the mixer app,
Yeah.
where you can make your own mix.
Yeah, which
Also-
helps a lot.
Definitely,
Yeah.
because you don't always have the luxury of having 2 sound technicians.
Yeah.
It's always a budget thing also.
Yeah.
But if I have to use in-ear, if it's a silent stage or if depending on the event, whatever, then I always try to make my own mix.
Yeah.
But other than that, I like I said, not to have an in-ear.
Yeah. Of course. I mean, then it is all about control.
Yeah.
I think, and the control is necessary to deliver what you have in mind and works for the production.
Yeah.
And of course, if the role is to be the guitar player in a certain band, the production defines a little bit more about the role. So they put the guitar player where the production sees the guitar player.
Exactly.
Which is important because if you are like, let's say, Richie Blackmore with a or Jimi Hendrix, that wouldn't work these days.
Yeah, definitely.
Because the production is different. But if you are like the star as the guitar player, then you need to be heard as a singer, and then it's a different role. So it's all about which role you have to fit.
Yeah.
And make that fit.
Yeah.
And the responsibility, in my opinion, goes with everybody, with the guitar player that gives a good sound and a usable signal.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, usable signal, low volume on stage, whatever. You have to be comfortable with your playing, which means you have to have a good sound. We talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
But like you said, the gigs I play are not about me.
Yeah.
I always play with other people or for other people, whatever. And still, I need to have a good sound.
Yeah.
And I did get used to using in-ear because I figured my way around getting a good sound on the ear and still having a room feeling.
Yeah, a beefy tone that you can connect to.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing that we need as a player. We have to have a sound that we feel comfortable and that we can connect, that we feel. This is like, I call this the meat on strings.
Yes.
And if this is gone away, it's like plastic playing synthesizer.
Oh yeah.
And that's what you have to achieve in whatever scenario.
Yes.
But then you can be the guitar player.
Yeah.
And the rest is up to the production.
Yeah.
You know, is yeah, how loud, how wide, and all this stuff.
Whatever, yeah. Stereo, signals, whatever.
Yeah, whatever the
Works.
production.
Exactly, yeah.
Hey, thanks for sharing all your realities, which is great. So we can discuss with you guys now. Cheers. Yeah, in the background you could see the good old JVM 410 Marshall in green. And I managed to get all the sounds that Georg was using from that amp into the Amp 1 Mercury Edition. That was my challenge. He told me I can use your amp if I get that clean tone, that whatever rhythm sound, that heavy sound, and that solo sound, and whatnot. And I made him the 4-channel Amp 1 setup that he can use to replace that good old JVM, and he has never used it since then. So, yeah. But of course, yeah, we talked about his experience and what to use in different situations. Yeah, different music. I see in the comments here, which is nice. Gildo hat euch lieb. The Germans know what Gildohorn means. Horst is his real name. He's quite a character, and originally he was a drummer. So he's also a musician that became something like in between of a comedian and a whatever singer and a frontman. But he's a character. He's something special. Chris Smart is asking for any AmpX updates. Yes, just a very brief one. Tomorrow I will check the new Power Amp board because we have a stage EQ which allows to adapt to different cabinet houses like open back and closed back cabinets. And yeah, we're making good progress. Julian is the total nerd for consistency of frequencies. He even used a lighter under the PCB today and getting real big heat to all the electronic parts like diodes to see if we are losing the sound, if the tolerance is changing with the temperature and things like that. So we have done some crazy things like that. Everything is looking very promising. And as I always told you guys, we are getting there every day a little bit closer. And it is what I expected. Maybe you have seen our Dumble video, maybe you have seen the Vox and the PV6505 and other videos. Yeah, this is us doing the non-compromise analog tube sound in a pedal. It's that it is getting what yeah, I'm very excited. And I hope that I will play that latest going into production version on the tour that I will do later this month with Blue Cranfeld Engelin. That's starting on the 20th. Is it the 20th of November in Epstein? But I think, no, we play on the 19th. We play the 19th in Tunis Forst. We play the 20th in Epstein. We play the 21st in Fürth, Kofferfabrik. We play the 25th in Oberhausen. Which venue? I don't know. No, Oberhausen. I forgot about. You have to look up the dates. 27 Vinyl Café and 28. And that hopefully I will play with the final version Yeah. What you could hear at the intro song was just the old Amp X. And yeah, we are working currently also on the stuff, how to dial in, you know, all the blue boxes, all the speaker emulations and IRs. It's very complex, and how to reduce it. But all I'm saying, that's the most important thing, the main thing these days, finish Amp X, and it's getting there. I'm very, very happy because I can see the results coming, and I'm very confident about the whole project. And I'm also already working on NAMM show. And just today I got a message that Ola Englund will play probably with me on Saturday. I'm about to set up a special stage at NAMM and invite my guitarist friends. So all good. Everything is just heading towards the right direction. So that makes me very positive and happy. Okay. Somebody writes, Martin Englund is a great bass player. Yes, he's our bass player. And I mean, he's around for ages, and Martin keeps that band together. I mean, I have no time to manage anything. So basically what I do is I drive where Martin tells me to drive, and then I'm joining his bus. He's the bus driver, he manages everything. And we will actually record a few new songs with this band. It's on the off days. We didn't want to squeeze in more performing days. So since we are together, we have the time together, and then we stay in the studio and record something. Maybe I do a live stream from the studio then by the end of the month. Let's see, it's all open. Anyway, there's one more interview that I have done with Emanuel Knorr, which is our metal expert here at BluGuitar. And before we watch the interview, let me explain that we also have a COLLAB idea, which is a backing track that he created. It's actually not that long, and he asked me to join in on his COLLAB. So what I have done is very simple. I have downloaded the backing track. The backing track, you can find the link in the description below on this stream where to download these. And this is basically what it is. You can play fast, you can play slow. Okay, so this is kind of the backing track, and if you want to join in, make a video like 16:9, like landscape with your mobile phone or whatever you have, film yourself and record your guitar separately. That's, by the way, is the guitar that I sent back to him, and wait, it's just the guitar. You know, I did a little kind of shred, and here we go. I think that was my video. See, this was me filming myself. I did just one take. I had no... Okay, I was tempted to do the little shred here. Okay, for some reason the guitar is still in slow motion, but the whole thing was one take, and at the end of the take, my computer kind of gave up. So, first take, done. And yeah, if you want to play some notes on top of that backing track, send it to us on, which was the email? Marketing@blueguitar.com. Marketing@blueguitar.com. And at the end of the year, maybe for Christmas, we make a little clip out of everybody that has sent us videos and audios. Okay, one more thing that is new in our BluGuitar family. We have a female guitar player, Tatiana Parra, from South America, and she released a new single. We have a little shortened clip. Yeah, she's constantly working on new music. So she plays M1. I want to support her. She's great. Check it out. Yeah, so if you want to check out the full video on YouTube, it's called Butterfly Walk by Tatiana Parra. You can see at the beginning of the video, nice scenery and, you know, the sea. I'm looking forward. I think I met her last time at the NAMM show. Maybe I will see her again then. Okay, and then just for you guys to... another announcement. Just before the show started, my phone was ringing, and I have a great different style of guitar player coming here next week, Max Cloud. He plays fretless guitar, and it's a thing. This guy has style and taste. He will be here next week. Yeah, so, and for this episode, I will finish with the interview of Emanuel Knorr, our metal guy, and asking him how he, well, performs these days, what kind of setup he is using when it comes, well, to play in different bands and scenarios. He is using obviously the Iridium, but he also has a Mercury. Yeah, check out what Emanuel Knorr has to say, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all next week. And by the way, I always forget that. Like and subscribe. And this is my red wine. Cheers. Good night. Bye-bye. So, Emanuel, I have noticed during my last concerts that the audience was totally excited when I was playing and I had to fight to get my guitar across. When I went on stage with my 1x12 fat cap, 1x12, not a 4x12, 1x12 fat cap, the sound guy was already yelling at me too loud. And I then take that serious and was facing the 1x12 inwards to the stage. But I was insisting on keeping my volume at the level, so I was in sync with the drums. And then I went down in front of the PA system, in front of the stage, and I told the sound guy, bring the guitar up while the drums were playing, and I said, stop, that's it. But I had to almost fight to be at this point. The result was the audience was excited. They were after the concert, they came and gave me tons of compliments for the guitar sound, for the playing and whatnot. So what happened was, my performance had a reaction on the audience. And I know that so many people have already played concerts where the guitar was not even audible. I see a lot of YouTube videos. So what is your experience when it comes to playing live and how to deal with the reality?
Yeah, so that's a very important topic, and I could certainly relate to it. I had a very similar situation years ago. It was in 2017. I played a tour in Sri Lanka with a kind of known musician there, and the people were like crazy about guitar. So I never felt so much, like after every guitar solo we got standing ovations because we were playing theaters and stuff. There, people were literally getting crazy. So there, long story short, there's a lot of appreciation in out there, and I think the issue nowadays is really that we are trying so much to be efficient with everything live on stage, with sound, like with anything that's regarding sound, that we sometimes forget the spirit of things, how it's supposed to be. And the truth is, let me tell you what I think the truth is, right? A drummer will never ever have issues with, getting hurt. Doesn't matter if it's not if it's not Wacken, right? Even if in a 3,000 people venue, if we wouldn't be mic'd, you'd still hear the drums somehow. The bass has a very limited frequency range where it is present, sorry. Not pregnant, but it's present. So the guitar is not competing with it. Maybe the bass drum is, but still, the lower frequency area, that is reserved for the bass. Vocals are generally on top of things, so they are double compressed in many cases and supposed to be on top of things. So the guitar is really getting a kind of instrument that has to fight for its existence within a mix, right? And people start by setting vocals and drums and everything into place, which is fine, but the guitar is kind of, sometimes it feels it's getting what is left, and this is the kind of development that I don't really like.
Yeah, and for me, it is, of course, a different thing when you play huge stages, open air, or a small club. I mean, on a big stage, the PA is 100% everything. And whatever is on stage is your business. Nobody will notice the difference if you play 4x12, 2 4x12s, or in-ear. Whatever is most convenient for the band is the solution. What I found is, in a small club, if you play in-ear, you have to master in-ear. Otherwise, you live in two different worlds. I have had a few moments, even with my drummer, when he started to use in-ear, that he was playing too loud because he was living in his bubble, and I was showing him, hey, can you be a little bit more quiet? And in his mix, he thought everything is cool because maybe it was compressed, maybe it was, and that's something, if you know how to do it, no problem. And for me, he took this comment from my side serious, and he changed the microphone on top of the drums that he was using for his monitor. So that's now much better. But for me, the responsibility is the musicians and the technicians have to learn how things work together to make the audience happy, because we will lose everything if we fuck up. And I'm telling this to myself, to all the guitar player colleagues, because if we don't deliver something exciting, the whole genre of guitar suffers because of not being exciting. And we should focus on that, because I noticed over the last 10 years that things come to a point where a rock, whatever, band, if it's rock, metal, or any genre, it is getting out of balance. And it's like a classical orchestra. A rock band should be in balance. I don't care if it's how it's done, the result needs to be in balance, like an orchestra. In the good old days of the orchestras, there was no electronics, so it was all physical instruments in a room, and they built their special concert halls. We have to face the fact that we have different clubs or big stages, open airs, and different scenarios. But the technology is there, and we should definitely take care of ourselves and our colleagues to get the best out of it. And whatever works best, I'm fine. I'm not against in-ears. I was wearing in-ears on a huge stage myself, and it was the only proper solution for that.
I use in-ear almost most of the time, but
Yeah.
I never ever start playing a gig without putting it out, going in front of the stage during the sound check, and then hearing how it sounds, right? Because I want my band to sound like I envision it.
Yeah.
I don't want my band to sound like some sound guy envisions it, right? I mean, if it's my sound guy and he's experienced with what we do, I trust him. Then I don't do it, right? But who like they can understand, right, how the band is supposed to sound, and there are very little nuances, right? Something like I put my guitar sound, I pre-EQ it sometimes even, right?
Yeah.
And I give them something that has a meaning. I don't pre-EQ it for him to screw the EQ up and then make it completely different, right? So there's a meaning to these kind of things. And I mean, if you now think about soundcheck, I don't know how it is with you, but let me tell you about my 10 years in Majesty. Soundchecks are mostly, you start with the drums because there are so many microphones. So you have to start with it. It's like 10, 12 microphones. So it's getting a lot of time, right? Then the vocals are coming, and then the vocals, they get a lot of time as well, right? Because they're very important, right? Which is nothing wrong about it. The bass and the guitar, they get like, okay, please play 2 chunks. All right, that's it. Mostly that's it. And this kind of, you know, I even get to a point where I'm like, okay, I have a clean sound here for the ballad, and I have a rhythm guitar tone, and I have a lead guitar tone. It's like, just play what you play most of the time. It's like, it doesn't even want to hear the lead guitar tone, but it's so important. It takes 1 minute for him to make a preset and then, you know, swap to it while I'm playing a solo. But they don't even want to put the time into it. And this is really something that a development, it's like not taking music serious anymore. And if I don't, you know, this is not like, not on a concert. I can understand if you're, you know, sitting in a bar or just listening to music on Spotify, and you know, that's so right. That's a different scenario. But when we are in the concert, we have the right to be heard. This is why we are there.
Exactly. And this is what I'm fighting for. And I totally understand if you are the background musician for a dinner party, and the guitar should be best acoustic and soft singing, so the wine glasses shine through the whole atmosphere. Fine, that's a different job.
Whole different story, yeah.
Yeah, and I totally accept that. That's it's also there's so many different ways of making music. But if you go to a concert, we are responsible to deliver, so that the people comes back the next time. They have seen a great band and they want to see them again. And to get that feeling, everything needs to be right, the performance and the sound. And if we as guitar players are, we have to make sure that the guitar talks for whatever it is. And we also are responsible not to congest the whole mix with too much guitar where it's not needed.
Yeah,
so
certainly.
It's a give and take, you know.
And it's not about like making the guitar louder and louder and louder, right? And this is, I'm so sick of it. Like everyone's like, oh, you're a lead guitar player, it needs to be loud and stuff like this. Like, no, this is a certain kind of music, and guitar is really important for rock music. Like, there's nothing I could do about it. If there was no guitar, I mean, this kind of music wouldn't exist.
Exactly.
Right, and it's not about making it louder than anything or competing with something or whatever. It's giving it the space it deserves.
Yeah.
Right. In many cases, like the thing that you'll keep in your mind mostly from a great rock song, it may be a great vocal line, but in a lot of cases, it's just a great guitar riff.
Yeah. Okie doke. Hey, thanks, Emanuel, for your 2 cents. And yeah, I have some other interviews lining up, and let's see what we can achieve with this little movement I hope to start, because we have to keep the guitar alive and we have to keep the guitar exciting. And I know it can be done because I've been there, and I have seen people so excited about that. Like, I was shocked that they even came to me, because in the venue I played there were hundreds of posters with great guitar players, and I just do my thing, and I know the other guys were there too, and maybe they didn't get what they have deserved sound-wise.
Well, they're not used to it anymore. They're not used to it anymore, and your thing was likely something like a whole new experience that they missed.
Yeah,
they missed out on, right?
And I simply know what works, and I didn't. I put everything there where I always put it, because I know it works, And at soundcheck, of course, I'm too loud. But hey, shall I fake it? Because okay, now I'm like on 1, and then at the show when the drums start, I go to 6. That's bullshit, because then I will give too much level to the PA or to the rest of them. But they should trust me. And of course, for me, it's easier because I do this as a profession. Guitar playing and sound design and mixing, as you also do. And then
it's your band, and you know how it's supposed to sound. And
Exactly.
there are bands where the guitar may be on a certain level, and it's fine because it's great for the music. But not if you're playing. No one is allowed to get in there and be like, this is wrong.
Yeah.
Because there is no right or wrong. There's a band coming consisting of 3, 4, whatever musicians, and those people are deciding how it has to sound.
Exactly.
Those people are setting the tone for it, and no one else.
Absolutely. And then my reaction needs to be that the audience is happy and that everybody will profit from that. Okie doke. Hey, thanks, Emanuel.
Thanks for having me, Thomas.
Cheers.